Astronomical Report with your girl Sunshine Monique L. You know, I'm gonna do this for the weekend. So we're gonna do today, which is the Sabbath day. Then we're going to do tomorrow, which is Yom Rishon. That's the day of your Moja. And then we're also going to do Monday, which is Yom Shini. So we're going to get into all 3 days. I'm going to take you from Saturday into Monday, what the mathematics are, what's the astrological, astronomical report, and get into some of the calendar things. So let's get into it. Today is 5/10/9. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed Royce the 5/9 day. You guys listened to the music. You guys had a great time. I had a great time on Royce the 5/9 day. Happy belated holy day to the Muvas in the back. We love it here, right? So today's the day of 10. 10 is, oh, it's 9/19, y'all. Gang, gang. That's my birthday. Um, so 10 is 1 and 0. This is knowledge in your cipher. 10 is cool because 10 is Malkuth. This is Jeb. This is the earthly sphere we're in now. On our Gregorian calendar, we have made it to the end of the first decade of the month. When we get into the mathematics, you will see that we actually got over the midpoint of the mathematics. This is in alignment with the difference between the tropical and the Vedic chart. So you'll see, you know, how like the Gregorian numerology and the so you're just gonna keep doing that. And the Gregorian numerology and the mathematics with the numerology, it kind of has the same ayanamasa, if you will. But today is the day of knowledge in your cipher. It is a day of Jeb and Malkuth, getting into your earthly realm of things. When we put the 1 and 0 together, it brings you up to the Ketters. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the visuals of the tree of life, but you know how it has roots going downward and upward at the same time. That's the vibe when you get 10, which is the roots going downward, being rooted in your earthly self. And then getting into the 1, which is Ketters, which is, you know, the first Sephiroth, and that's being rooted in your spiritual self. So having that above and below today is essential. One deals with knowledge. This is the energy of leadership, right? Cardinal energy, taking initiative. We move in gratitude for your ability to do that. For those of you guys who are seen as leaders, you guys will be called upon to do the things. 1 is great for the Aquarians, which rule over the Ketter's energy, the individualistic people, the humanitarians, the givers, all the things like that. Just be mindful when you're in that space of doing the things in that Aquarian energy. It could see when that Ketter's energy is too far off. It comes into like I set up an umbrella for the rain, but I'm not going to stand under the umbrella because I'm too good for the umbrella. But y'all little niggas, y'all stand under the umbrella because y'all need it type energy. Like, I'm helping you for you because y'all beneath me. I'm not, you know, it's not, you know. So be mindful when you're helping people, when you're in that leadership, that cardinal energy. Be mindful that it's coming out of the kindness of your heart, and it's coming in that space where you're not too good for the assistance either. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's all about keeping your heart as light as a feather and the realm of things. Peace energy, peace to y'all on TikTok, peace to y'all on YouTube, and peace to the guys on Meet Me. Hey John, hey Janessa. But yeah, so that's what we have there for the ones. 1 also deals with Aries, Ogun energy. This is the solar plexus chakra. This is the confidence and courageousness, which is required when you're taking initiative and being a leader. So 1 days usually are beneficial for all the people born, no matter what day you were born on. The 1 is for all of you guys. So, you know, I was born on the 19th, so I actually was born on a day of 1. So this is especially a great day for me. but but you get the vibes, you know. You know, if you were born on a day of 1 or 19 or 28, you guys would probably be having an especially good time. But this is a day to test everybody's leadership, cardinal energy, and ability to take initiative, right? And everybody's ability to take you know, to take in the energy from the cosmos. So we're going to take that 1 and we're going to put it into the month of 5. Of course, we want to enforce our ability to be rooted in our physical and our spiritual self at the same time. 5 is the celestial enforcer. This is Hera Kahuti. We're in the month of Ogun. We're in the month of enforcing the Mayat that we created during the month of 4, which was Chesed, which was Mayat, right? 5 also deals with Leo energy. This is your confidence, courageousness, your inner child, you know, the patriarchal lineage of things. 5 deals with in numerology realm, being curious, adventurous, kind of like a Gemini type of vibe. 5 brings in the numerology realm, but it's supreme mathematics. 5 is power, baby. It's all about enforcing the things that you want, enforcing your boundaries, enforcing enforcing your internal law, and it is going to be challenged because how you going to enforce it if it's not being challenged? Duh. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. You know, I can lift all these weights, but if I'm not, if I'm just putting my hands in the air, when am I using my muscles? Hey, Brianna, peace to y'all that's coming in and out on TikTok. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for liking the screen and joining. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Let people know I exist. And so when we put that 1 and that 5 together, we put that knowledge with that power together, it's going to bring us to 6, which is equality. 6 is Tippereth. 6 is equality. What the fuck am I saying? 6 is equality in the mathematics realm in regards to, like, it's teaching you what you put in is what you get out. So you enforce these things, right? And how well you enforce them. Say your solar plexus chakra is underactive, right? You don't really be enforcing shit. You be letting people come into your space and do whatever, whenever, however, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, wherever. And you be letting that shit rock. So what happens is in your Tippereth, which is your 6th Sephiroth, this is Sephiroth in the middle, this is the Sephiroth that, all the Sephiroths are connected to. This is underactive. Your confidence, your courageousness, your creativity, your inner child is probably pissed off because one thing about the inner child, their solar plexus chakra be on point until it gets broken down by whatever disciplinary trauma, challenges, or whatever you gotta get into. Because everybody know about that no phase, that no and why, and da-da-da. So, Tippereth is showing you, how well you've been enforcing your what you know what I'm saying. So be aware of that. If I'm big on listening to your heart, because when you think about sad things or things that make you angry or excited, whatever, and you're not enforcing it, you can really feel it in your chest. Some of you guys don't feel it like in the front. Some of you guys feel it in the back between your shoulder blades. It be in your posture. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys be like cropped over and all that stuff like that. That's still the same spot right here. Whether in the front or the back, it's still dealing with your Tippereth. Hey Logan, peace to the God. So, being mindful of things like that too. Basically showing you. 6 also deals with health, wellness, daily routine, your moral and integral code. How you schedule, how you organize yourself. 6 deals with the Virgo house of dis-ease, and dis-ease comes from when you're not enforcing the things. Like I said, if you have this knowledge, you have this intellect, you have these desires, you have these things that you're supposed to be taking initiative on, being the cardinal leadership on, and you're not enforcing it in your space, you start to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, Logan. We love it here. Oh, Janessa, are you okay? Hey, Mike. I'm not talking much. Sorry, because my brother died in front of me. Oh, peace to you, Janessa. Are you okay? Is everything all right? Well, I'm sure you're not okay, but how do you feel? How are you coping? So yeah, coming to the Tippereth, right? We're organizing ourselves. We have new rituals, new habits, new routines. If you feel your sense of a dis-ease, it's probably because you're not in divine, alignment with your indwelling intelligence, with your internal self. So you want to recalibrate that. You want to get that back in order. That's all 6. Equality. What you put in is what you get out. If you're not enforcing things, guess what? Stuff is going to keep overlooking you, overseeing you, pushing you down. If you are enforcing things, there's that healthy energy exchange. Is everybody going to like the healthy energy exchange? No, because some people have overactive solar plexus chakras. Some people have underactive solar plexus chakras, and they like to be around their reflections of underactive. Like if I lack in boundaries, and I like to be around other people who lack in boundaries, so we can not have boundaries with each other and just do whatever. And then when I meet somebody who has boundaries, it might irritate me, it might trigger me. You know what I'm saying? That's just an example. I got boundaries, baby. They might not like that shit. Or I might have boundaries, but I enjoy people who don't have boundaries because my solar plexus chakra is overactive, and I like controlling other people or feeling like I'm the best motherfucker in the room because I'm the only one with the boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Hey Tyree, peace of the God. Nice to see you again. So, that's all that there. And again, that's still in alignment with 6 being the number of equality. So you're going to take that 6 of Tippereth, equality, Virgo energy, and you're going to put that into the year of 9. Of course, we want to give birth to that. We want to give birth to how we've been managing and organizing ourselves. We want to give birth to this ritual we've created. We're definitely going to give birth to where our heart is at, regardless if it's where you want it to be or where you don't want it to be. It's going to come into our reality. You're going to attract people. You are a magnet. You have an electromagnetic field. Your electromagnetic field is like It's way bigger than you could fathom. It's your whole area. It's the town you live in. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like the town you're living in, you're gonna feel that. You're gonna feel like you don't belong. Like superstars that be in like small towns and like, I don't belong here. Everybody's looking at me everywhere I go. Da, da, da. Because as you move, your aura is moving with you. You know what I'm saying? Your force field is moving around with you. Until you find that space where you start gravitating to energy better, you're always going to feel that, that lack of gravitation, that lack of belonging. The sun is in the fourth house and has been in the fourth house for quite some time now. You guys should definitely be in some level of awareness at this point when you're in a space of belonging, when you're where you belong and when you're not. So, and if you're not, start paying attention. Start paying attention to the elements that you feel when you don't feel like, you're being pulled. And then start paying attention to places where you feel like you are being pulled. Do you like the pool? You know what I'm saying? Do you like the pool? Do you like to swim in this pool? Okay? So, yeah, of course we're going to give birth to the 6. Of course we're going to give birth to how we manage and organize ourselves. This is the year of 9. This is your Sod. This is your Moja energy in the tree of life, as well as in the Nitarus. We're dealing with the divine celestial womb. And 9 deals with Sagittarius energy and astrology. And Sagittarius is Jupiter. This rules over the sacral chakra. We're still ruling over the reproductive self, your sense of creativity. So we're still dealing with the celestial womb and astrology. Also, 9 being Sagittarius energy deals with expansion, abundance, generosity, optimism, your sensual self, your sexual self. Still giving birth to stuff, right? Because what do you do with sex? You procreate, okay? Whether you're procreating another human, another energy field, a relationship, a bond, or whatever, intentionally or unintentionally, doesn't matter. You are creating something when you engage in sexual activity. You are creating something when you engage in sensual activity as well. When you utilize those 5 senses, you're engaging and giving birth to something, whether it's a mindset, a connectivity, an experience, whatever, what have you. 9 also deals in the numerology from the sense of completion and wholeness. 9 deals, we're in the year of 9. This is the year of Jubilee, giving us that generosity and that optimism that Sagittarius Jupiter has. Be mindful of being in obsessive addictions is heavy here, because sometimes we get so far into our sensualities that we may overindulge in certain activities that bring us a lot of joy, and that brings us, addictions and stuff like that. So be mindful of that in the year of 9. But aside from that, yeah, it's about giving. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're not giving from an empty cup. Make sure you're giving from the kindness of your heart, and not because you want something back from this person, or because you just want to show how good you are, how better you are, or whatever. Love is the strongest power that we have, and if we're not utilizing it accordingly, then what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Not really defeating too much anything. So yeah, we're gonna give birth to this 9. We're going to put it into the cosmos. We're going to give it to your Moja. And your Moja is like, okay, you want to give birth to the 6. You want to put the 6 into the 9. Okay, you're going to get back 1 and 5. So what do we have to do to give birth to the 6? We have to have knowledge on our celestial enforcer. 1 is knowledge. 5 is power. 1 is taking initiative. 1 is taking action. 1 is cardinal. 1 is leadership. 1 is Ogun. 1 is the Ketters. 1 is Aries. 1 is Mars. 5 is Heracahudi. 5 is also Mars and Ogun in the Netarus, as well as in the Tree of Life, while 1 is Ketters in the Tree of Life in the Netarus. 5 is dealing with Leo energy, your confidence and courageousness. These are the energies we have to connect together. What are you enforcing? Take initiative if we want to get to that Tippereth, if we want to get to organizing ourselves, having habits and routines. What are you enforcing in your space? Some of you guys today are going to have to enforce some things in your space, some routines that you wanted to keep going. It might be a little bit more difficult today to keep them going. Some things y'all wanted to get started on. Today is the day. Get it started. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? That's the vibe we have on this wonderful day of 6. Well, then we're on a life path of 6. We're on a day of 10 on a life path of 6. So we start off we start off in our Malkuth energy and our earthly self and our jet. We bring it to our Ketters, and then we end up in our Tippereth. And that's a nice little pathway that we end up in today on the Tree of Life, going through those different Sephiros. So you utilize those. If you need assistance with traveling through the Sephiros, and you want to know what astrological placements on your charts that you need to flow through to get to these different Sephiros and spheres I just spoke on, reach out. That's what I specialize in. Putting your astrology charts into your Sephiros, into your chakras. So when we do these mathematics, you know exactly what you personally could be doing And the general readings will be a little bit more specific for you and your space, and we love it here, right? All right, so let's get into the astrological astronomical report on 510. We start the day off with a 94% waxing gibbous moon. Still in the moon of building. We're building tangible things, physical things into our space. Moon rising at 6:26 a.m. and setting at 4:32 a.m. tropical and draconic. So in mind and soul, we start off the day in Libra energy. In the ninth house, and then house of expansion, abundance, and the sacral chakra. So we're finding balance there. We're finding truth and what we want to find joy in. We talked about this yesterday, right? You guys got to be honest with yourself about what it is that you want, what you want to create, where your joy is at, where your creativity is at, where your senses want to be at. Because a lot of you guys are communicating things through your throat chakra, but that's not really how you'll feel. That's how you think you're supposed to feel. But if that's not it, then it's not it, And it's cool that we're going through this in the moon, because the moon deals with your feelings, your underlying feelings, who you are at your comfort zone. So allow yourself to have that, because you deserve it. You deserve what you desire, y'all. Be delusional. We start off the day in the Virgo constellation. I know throughout the day we'll be in Libra all across the board, especially once we get to the full moon energy. Tomorrow we really touch it, but I think that's like in the middle of the night. So it depends on how you guys look at the clock. Like, I didn't go to sleep yet, so it's still today, or whatever. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, we start off the day with Virgo. So in our energy exchanges, we're in that space of 6. We're in that space of organizing ourselves and scheduling ourselves, and communication. Virgo deals with communication, even invocation within self, right? And so when we get into the nakshatra that we start the day off in, which is 27 degrees Virgo, we are at the 14th lunar mansion, which is the Chitra nakshatra. Some positive traits of being artistic, independent, attractive, highly spirited, and elegant. Some negative traits to look out for on your emotional self as a collective is being self-centered, easily bored, conceited, quarrelsome, and corrupt. Don't be corrupt today, y'all, unless it's the rapper. Sun rises at 5:48 a.m. Sunset is at 8:03 p.m. We are mentally and spiritually in Taurus energy on the tropical and draconic chart, finding that balance between the material and non-material self, space of possessions, what we value, what we prioritize, what we find beauty in. This is the celestial designer designing the things. So we've been designing it in our mind. Our aura is designing it. Around like the 15th, 16th of the month, the sun will be entering Taurus constellation. So we'll start to experience the things that our mind and our soul has been designing. In this space and time, just give yourself grace and keep designing it in your mind and soul, and watch the opportunities open up for you once the Vedic chart opens up with the sun in Taurus, and you're going to be able to walk into it and experience the experiences. See, this is where it comes into play, where it's like, I'm manifesting the things that I want, but once the sun enters Taurus constellation, are you going to have the sense of awareness to accept it, to recognize it when it's happening? You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing there too. I was talking about that, on Facebook, between last night and this morning. Like, you deserve what you desire. Now ask the universe for the ability to recognize and receive once you get those things. Because a lot of people ask for things that they're not ready for. I had Ruffle Some Feathers talking about, the kind of man that I want, certain men that don't fit the bill or whatever, or wanted to try to hurt my feelings as a counterattack. And it was like, well, you deserve what you desire. If I'm not what you desire, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't want to date the world. I just want to find one in 7 billion people. That's, it's cool. And, to challenge what somebody else wants, that's a big, solar plexus thing. I say what I want, I enforce, what I desire, and here comes the equal opposite energy. Now, how are you going to communicate to that energy? You know what I'm saying? That says a lot about, how confident and courageous you are in what you want. Or so pay attention to your, yourself more than anything, and then the more you pay attention to yourself, the more you recognize, okay, when I say these things and when I do these things and when I put this foot forward, this seems to be the energy I seem to attract. This seems to be the, the energy that comes. you know, what's happening here? What part of me is being exercised here? Oh, my communication skills. Oh, the combination of my heart and my communication. See, because I'm a stellium. A lot of my placements are close together. Like my sun, moon, Mercury, and Venus, they're all close together. So if you're challenging, you know, my throat chakra, you're challenging my heart chakra and my third eye all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because they're all together. You know. And then I get into all my other earthly planets and this, that, and third. And that's just on the that's just on how I think things are, you know what I'm saying? So, and you too can be that versed in your planets. Just reach out to the goddess. I do have some classes happening next weekend too, if you guys are interested. Anyway, let's get back into it. The sun is over there in Aries, so we're still in Aries constellation. We're in that last degree of the second lunar mansion, the Bharani Nakshatra. And so that one is... Let me read that to you because I'm sure there's some newbies in here. That is being ambitious, dutiful, courageous, loyal, artistic, and talented. Some negative traits to watch out for in your experiences as a collective is being overburdened, restless, fickle, stubborn, immoral, and hypersexual. Okay? And all that's happening in the fourth house. Your sense of home and family, belonging, your feminine energy, nurturing self, how you nurture other people, how you want to be nurtured, is all in our experiences right now with what, you know, we value, prioritize, and find beauty in our mind and spirit, and the new beginnings and taking initiative in our energy exchanges. The moon and Spica are in conjunction at 5:16 a.m. This happened. Spica is the brightest star in the Virgo constellation, bringing the harvest. So so the last 2 days, Moon and Parima were in alignment, which is the star of prophecy in the Virgo constellation. So now we're in that space of harvesting. So some of the things that you guys prophesied, some of the things you guys saw, and it made you feel some type of way, you want it to happen, and this, that, and the third. Now we're in a space of harvesting it and making it happen. Okay, that couldn't. The moon was 1.2 degrees south, minimal angle at 4:02 a.m. The moon was 1.2 degrees south-southwest, and it was visible. Occultation did occur. If you guys were out there sky watching last night, you definitely probably caught the moon with Spica and Parima, because that star ain't too far off. Libra was in opposition with the sun this morning at 4:28 a.m. This is the best visibility of the year. Catching that Libra constellation. It's a beautiful team as the sun is still sitting in Aries constellation. The moon is the furthest distance to the earth at 8:21 p.m. tonight. This is called apogee, astronomically speaking. And Neptune and Ceres are in conjunction today over there in Pisces constellation. So Neptune deals with your subconscious, your dreams, hidden agendas, anything hidden beneath the horizon, hidden deep into the melanated particles in your brain. And Ceres is like that mother energy. It's how you nurture and how you want to be nurtured. This is the mother and child connection. So it's it's very dope that Neptune and Ceres are in alignment the day before Mother's Day. You guys coming into some deep thought, deep emotion with your connectivity with how you've been nurtured, whether it's by your mother, a mother figure, feminine energy in general, your own feminine energy. Everybody has their own feminine energy. I don't care what meat suit you're in. You have a feminine and a masculine side, and there's spectrums to the shits, obviously. And there's, we'll get into that later. I won't talk about that right now. But yeah, so Neptune and Ceres is telling you to dig deep into your subconscious about how you, desire to be nurtured, and how you desire to be nurtured, to nurture others, and where does that come from, and what is that doing for you? So that's what we have today for the Sabbath. Sabbath means rest. Okay, so today is a day of rest. Will I be resting? Probably not, because fuck, I'm a Virgo horse. Chill. This is 21 to 3. All right. Sabbath is considered the holiest day of the week, a day of rest, reflection, and spiritual rejuvenation. In Jewish tradition, it is a day of connection with God and a time for family and community. It symbolizes the time to rest and reflect on the blessings of life. All right, so rest, holiness, and spiritual rejuvenation are the keys for today, guys. Hey, Colo, what's up with you? All right, so on 5/11/9, okay, 11, a day of mastery, and we love it here because I am a master. 11 is, when you master yourself so well that you become an inspiration and an aspiration to other people. Now, according to the Gregorian calendar, we are entering the second decade of the month. You know, in supreme mathematics, we've only made it to the day of 6, so we can only assume that the 11th is on the life path of 7. So, you know, like I said, just like the between the Gregorian calendar and the mathematics, has the same kind of like Ayanamasa situation as the tropical and Vedic chart, right? So we start off on a moment of mastery. We did the work the day before. We did the Jeb to the Keter. We loved it there. You know, we got to influence some people around us. It was a great time. And so we take that 11 and we put it into 5 because, of course, we want to enforce what we've mastered of self. We want to enforce taking that initiative. We want to enforce those boundaries that we've gotten really comfortable enforcing within ourselves more than anything. You know, you guys set plans and organize yourself and do all these things, and some of you guys don't keep up with it. Some of you guys like, okay, I'm going to do it, and then you do it for 5 days, and then you're done, and then you wonder why nobody takes you seriously. You don't take you seriously. You're not even doing the things for yourself that you said you were going to do. You're not keeping up with your own schedule and routine. You're not keeping up with your own internal mayat. So you can't expect other people to do that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully on this energy of 11, y'all get in alignment with that and come into awareness. And y'all go ahead and enforce that mastery on that 5 and 11. That brings us to 1 and 6. So now we have that knowledge, taking initiative and things on 6. Isn't today the day of 6? Yes, today is the life path of 6. So by the time we end today, by tomorrow you should be able to, you know, start taking initiative on it. Whatever you implement in that space of equality, whatever you implement in your Tipperef, you know, whatever you implement it in that Virgo energy of organizing yourself, especially with the moon being your speaker today. Tomorrow, everything you wrote down, everything you put into the agenda, this, that, and the third, it's time to start taking initiative. It's time to start taking action. It's time to really start being present in it. Don't play with yourself, because we're a couple days away from the sun being in Taurus, and we'll be in Taurus on the tropical, Vedic, and Draconic chart for about 3 to 4 days. It's a wonderful time to manifest things in your space with your heart chakra. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not doing the work today, it might be a little bit more difficult, especially in the recognition space, because Venus is vortex. And if you have things in your vortex and you're not entirely aligned with the inner Venus, you might overlook it. You might have to play the hindsight 2020 game with yourself again, like, oh shit, I should have said yes to this. I should have did that. I should have. Yeah, because you're not paying attention. Because you're not enforcing the things. Because you're not doing the work. Because you're not opening your 2 eyes. Shoot, some of y'all be so quick to open up the 3rd eye. Your 2 eyes ain't even open yet. Open them first. You know, pay attention. Pay attention to yourself more than anything. You know what I'm saying? One thing about me, I don't get too wrapped up into telling people about other people and stuff like that. I want you to focus on yourself. You know, no shade to anybody who utilizes their platform to talk about, you know, what the stars are doing for other people and stuff like that. But I want you guys empowered. Because you guys empowered as a collective is what's really going to make shit pop. A lot of y'all got Pluto and Scorpio energy. What are y'all doing? Pluto is in Aquarius right now. Y'all should be out here pop locking and dropping it and getting it the fuck on. But you're not. Because when opportunities come and things open, you get scared. Your solar plexus chakra is not where it's supposed to be to do the things y'all supposed to be doing. And I'm speaking at a round table because when I talk to y'all, I promise I'm talking to myself. Okay? And so that's what I'm here to do. Here to talk to myself, talk to y'all. The life of a life path 11 individual. As I master myself, I share that energy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's get into it. So we got the 1 and 6. We're taking an initiative. We're doing the things, you know. You guys got to start taking action on those things y'all set for yourself and be grounded in it, okay? That brings us to 7. That brings us closer to God. 7 and that 7 is pre-mathematics is the God energy. We know 7 is the number of perfection. It's the number of heaven, okay? 7 in astrology is old, but it's the Libra scales. This is law, justice, truth, and righteousness, right? The bonds, interpersonal relationships, contracts. We're still in the Venusian energy because 7 on the tree of life, as well as in the Netarus, is Netzach. It's Heru, not Heru. Heru is Tippereth. Heru is 6. Netzach is Heru, excuse me. Is 7. So this is the celestial designer. This is designing the things into your aura. Things are being etched into your aura. Your aura is big as shit. So as you're traveling, you're walking into things that your aura has already, walked into and created and designed and stuff for you to have. This is why recognition is so important. If I say the stuff with my mind and I put it into my aura, and maybe the radius of my aura is 69 miles, because, all right, and let me tell you where I got that number from. Because when you get into astrocartography, each star has EMF goes around a 69 miles radius. So treat yourself like that. When I think it in my mind and I put it up into the cosmos, it comes down and you have your own dome type situation. You have your own exospheres, right? So your non-physical exospheres goes to a 69 miles radius. So the things that you walk into within that mile radius is all in alignment with what you made of your mind. But if you're not recognizing that, you're missing the opportunities that you manifested in your mind to have in your aura. You know what I'm saying? Even if some of those experiences are challenges or traumas or whatever, there's still things that's supposed to walk you into the things that you ask for. So sometimes be careful what you ask for, because that's a big ass aura. Yes, you are the core of your aura. Exactly. You are the smallest part of you. You know how they have the 1% owns da 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 da. Your physical body is literally the 1% of who you are. You know what I'm saying? This is literally the 1%. And we give it 99% of the things. But yeah, so where was I? We're on the 1 and 6. So we're taking action on that. You know what I'm saying? And I bring this to 7. And we're celestial designing it. And now we're going to give birth to the 7 because we're in the year of Yesod. And when we put that 7 into Yesod or your Muvas, Sagittarius energy, expansion, completion, wholeness, and born, we come back into the 1 and 6. That's what we get back. In order to get to the 7, you got to do the 1 and 6 again. So work on the things that you've written out for yourself, you organize and design for yourself. You always get exactly what you prayed for. Always, always. And it's different. The thing about it is your aura is so big that there's alternate ways to get what you prayed for. Like, I know out here, if I want to go to Walmart, I can think of like 3 or 4 different ways I can get to this particular Walmart, and I can get there. A couple of the different ways. Some of them are faster than the other ones, but then I would still have to deal with like cops being on the side of the road. It's the other little challenges I would have to deal with to utilize those routes. You know what I'm saying? Because those are more highway routes. The other routes I take, they might be a little bit slower because I have to deal with stoplights or whatever. Or sometimes they're quicker if I catch the stoplight on green. You know how everything is timed. If I catch that road on a green stoplight, I might get there a little faster or whatever. But I can think about 3 or 4, maybe even 5 different ways to get to this particular Walmart. And that's how your aura is. You said you wanted something, and there's like 3 or 4 different ways to get there, and they have different challenges with them. Hey, Janae, thank you for the gifts. And it's just, it's up to you to recognize and receive when you see yourself getting on the path. You know what I'm saying? If you go through the path and you're like, okay, this is not really the path I want to take. This is not really flowing with how I want to flow. You can take another path. You don't have to change the goal all the time. Sometimes it's just the plan that needs a little tweaking. And that's okay. Peaceful rising, goddess. So overall, tomorrow on the wonderful day of Muvas and Mother Earth and Gaia and everything and anything in between, we are starting the day on mastery. And we are going through our Tippereth. We are going through our Jebora or our Herakahuti, and we're going through our Netzach or our Heru. Because overall, the life path is a life path of 7. Tomorrow's a great day for my 1, 4s, and 7s that are really, good on being internalizing things, going inward, having those spiritual connections and communities and things of that nature. 3, 6s, and 9s, you guys learning, finding that balance between the physical, but now it's time to go inward with the emotional and the spiritual self. You know what I'm saying? We always do the physical, tangible things. We live in a physical, tangible world, but sometimes you have to go inward, do a little tweaking, program your cells, have a conversation with your body, program the computer in your mind and in the mind of your cells, because every cell in your body has a nucleus. Every nucleus has an algorithm or a program, and no program is more important than the other. And sometimes we have to go inward, and we have to do the thing. It was like that episode of SpongeBob when his eyeballs went inward, and he started talking to the people in his head. He's like, "Hey, what y'all doing in there? What's up? What are we doing? Where are we going?" So, you can get it done. I believe in you. I believe in you so much. So enjoy that day of 7. Enjoy that day of Netzach. As far as we must recall world reassociation and the generational programming and conditioning. Yeah, agreed. Recall the word reassociation. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of programming, and you know what? I was thinking about this the other day about the generational programming because you know I I seen the conversation came back up about credit report, being created in 1989, and thinking about the planetary shifts from 1989 to 1990. 90s generation is a whole different generation. I would say like from 1984 to maybe like 1992 or 93 or whatever. It's like a whole different programming, and we come into all of these like finances and big business and stuff like that. You see the different challenges that were intentionally put upon this generation of people. You know what I'm saying? Because if those challenges weren't put there, the kind of individuals that were born in that space would be doing something way different. All of us have the same desire, earning to go from farm to table, to tap into our indigenous roots and the soil that we're in, get into our genealogy, become more connected with one another, this, that, and the third. So if they didn't put credit report and all this stuff in our space the way they did it, we would be way more invested into these other things. You know what I'm saying? I won't say credit report gets in the way, because I see a lot of you guys defeating that too and still moving beyond that, and so kudos to you guys. But I will say it does prolong the process. You know what I'm saying? And it's very intentional. And it's crazy how that concept is younger than a lot of us, yet is being taught to us like it's something that has been here since the beginning of time, and the world moves around it and da da da. But if you go to other countries, it's way different. It's an experiment that's being put upon us. It's the programming, you know what I'm saying, and our mindset about how finances work and how return works in that space of equality. It's always a tax to our tippereth when you think about it. All right, so be mindful and have a sense of awareness of that. And that's just a layman's example. There's so many other examples. I'm sure you guys can camel walk with me and add them in the comments, which I totally welcome. I will read them. And but that's just one of them that just popped in my mind because it was a recent conversation. So let's get into the astrological, astronomical report on that day of 11, path of 7. We start the day off at a 98% waxing gibbous moon, getting close to the full moon. Yay. Moon rising at 7:28 p.m. and setting at 4:54 a.m. We're in Scorpius energy on tropical and draconic. So mind and soul is on transformation, power, rebirth. So we went through all these power numbers. By the time we, get to this space of mastery on Sunday, we're dealing with the transformations that should be coming out of it, right? Empowerment, little sex, you know what I'm saying? Libra energy is on the energy exchanges and the constellations of things. This is interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts. So your mind and your soul is on that empowerment and transformations happening, and the events that are going to feed that are going to be, one-on-one conversations, tapping into Libra, which is getting into your what? Venus, that's Netzach, that's the 7, right? Going inward. What is it that you really want in your heart? And expressing it outward. Libra is air energy. This is energy exchange, right? Air, energy, you know what I'm saying? Conversation, intellect, we love it here, right? You with me still? Sometimes I'll be losing y'all because I'm so used to saying this stuff that, but if I lost you, let me know. And then take my class because you shouldn't be lost because I be teaching a class. But this is all in the 9th house. This is the house of expansion, generosity, and joy. This is also the house of business. Jupiter rules over business too. Don't sleep on it. Jupiter also rules over long-term planning as well. The nakshatra that we're in being at a 9-degree Libra. I want to say we're still in the Chitra, but let me triple double check for y'all. Nope, we're actually going to be in the 15th lunar mansion. We're going to be in the Swati nakshatra. Some positive traits over there on our nurturing emotional self is going to be truthful, accurate, caring for others, and high morale. Some negative traits is going to be no limit. Being self-isolated, secretive, and hot-tempered, which is something to look out for being in a 7, because 7 can go into that, over excessive level of, I got a sneeze coming, of isolation. So be mindful of that. Oh, baby, bringing out the Corvette today. Sunrise as 5:47 a.m., setting at 8:04 p.m. Tropically and Vedically, we are in Taurus. In our mindset, we're at a 20 degrees Taurus, so we're finding wisdom in our cipher in that space. On the Draconic chart, as far as our soul goes, we're at a 25 degrees Taurus, so we're finding wisdom and our power on our enforcement on the Taurus energy, which is what we value, prioritize our space of possessions. In our energy exchanges, we still are in Aries, taking initiative, working on our solar plexus chakra, our confidence and courageousness. Also, our mythology. Aries is the fire in the gut, and we know the gut controls the mind. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us say, I want to kill the ego. I want to do. You don't really want to kill it, like get rid of it. You want transformation. You want renewal. You want new beginnings in your ego and in your gut. Certain things that made you want to flight, you might not want to flight anymore. Certain things that made you want to fight, you may not want to fight anymore. You might want to change certain things you put in your gut. Different stuff like that. So we move in gratitude for the fire in our gut, because the gut controls the mind and everything starts with the thought. So, paying attention to, your gut health is a big thing here. This is the last day on that second lunar mansion, which is fun. And again, the sun is in the fourth house, our sense of belonging, home and family, and our feminine energy. The moon in Zubin El Janubi will be a minimal angle on the 11th as well. Zubin El Janubi is a star in the Libra constellation. It gives off the energy of Saturn and Mars. Saturn rules over the root chakra. These are the challenges that we experience that give us the discipline and the order that we need. Mars is the solar plexus chakra energy to enforce. So, that connection between the challenges and enforcement is happening there. And it also hinders journey, so be mindful of that. That minimal angle occurs at 7:05 p.m. Yes, discipline is key. On Sunday, discipline is definitely on the forefront. The moon is 4.5 degrees south-southwest, observed at 8:55 p.m. with a 4.6 degrees south-southwest separation. The moon will also be in conjunction and minimal angle with Lilith in the Scorpio zodiac at 10 degrees. It'll be in the Scorpio zodiac at 5 degrees. And then as far as the constellation goes, it'll be at 10 degrees Libra. So that's cool. Lilith is kind of like the dark side of the moon. So, moon is at apogee at this point, right? So it's the furthest point away from Earth. So, now we're in the shadow space of the moon. And essentially that's what Lilith is the furthest point from the moon where the shadow is going to be at. So, it's in alignment in that space. We're now, locked into the Lilith being in Libra energy, so the primordial energy, the rebellious energy of self, that emotional connectivity. I'd be like, oh, I'll flip this table right before, man, when Jesus was in the church flipping the tables. You got Jesus all nice and healing stuff, but he'll flip the table. And when you get to that point of flipping tables, that's when we're in Lilith, right? A nice feminine version would be Lilith versus Eve. Lilith wasn't beat for all that shit Adam was trying to pull. Eve wasn't really either. To be honest with you. He had a type. But Lilith was more like, I'll challenge you, where Lilith was more like, I'm about to use Robert Greene's art of seduction to get you to eat this apple with a homie. I'm pretty sure Lilith and Edith had a conversation at one time, and she was like, you know what, this is what you do, sis, because I dated this nigga already. But that's neither here nor there. Something to put in one of my funny cartoons. Anyway, that conjunction, I don't have a time for that, but it's happening tomorrow, so you'll feel it in your emotions. You guys want to flip the tables and shit. Mercury enters the Taurus zodiac at 3:10 p.m. tomorrow, which is exciting because now the mindset of our throat chakra, that energy is communicating with possessions and what we value and what we prioritize, and we love it here. Chiron enters the draconic Taurus energy around 3:10 p.m. too, which is cool because we've had Chiron in Aries since like 2018-ish. So to see Chiron start to move into a new zodiac, on the draconic chart, soon the tropical chart will be thereafter, and then we got the Vedic. Chiron deals with how we transmute our wounds. And I like that Chiron is starting to enter the Taurus energy because we still have Uranus over there in Taurus, which is giving us the progressive pushes in our possessions and the wealth, business, and love, and togetherness, and forgiveness, and beauty and shit. And then Jupiter is also over there providing the expansion and philanthropy and all that stuff like that. So to have Chiron over there, it's kind of like we're transmuting some wounds here. It's going to be some healing in that material realm. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some healing in that space of possessions. And we know we're supposed to own nothing, control everything type of mindset. This land is our land. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's no boundaries and borders. It's our land and that's it. So we'll see how Chiron unfolds being over there at Taurus, but I have my theories. Jupiter's moon, Callisto, comes very close to Jupiter's north node for my sky watchers out there that likes to watch Jupiter's moons. That's going to happen around 9:07 p.m. Now, let's get into 512. This is Monday. Why am I getting into Monday? Because once again, my schedule is shifting and I don't know what it's going to look like. We have to remember the baby steps so growth doesn't have to be fearful nor leaps and bounds. Ashe. On a progressive chart, I have moved into Scorpio. My Sun, Mercury, and Venus are in Scorpio now. I think my Venus is still in Libra. I gotta look into that. But either way, we're getting real close to that, all the Scorpio placements being where my Virgo placements were. So transformations are always happening, and I'm trying to learn to flow. Am I doing a good job? I don't know. I think so. But I really want to be here with you guys every day. Anyway, so let's get into the 5-12-9. So 1 and 2 is knowledge and wisdom. So now we're in a space of knowledge and wisdom. On the Gregorian calendar, we have entered the third decade of the month. Let me come back. Come back to Sunday. Sunday is Yom Rishon. This is the first day. Yom Rishon marks the first day of creation when God created light. This is a day of new beginnings and renewal. In Jewish tradition, the first day of the week is seen as the start of creation, symbolizing hope, creativity, and the potential to begin anew. So new beginnings, light, and creation are the days. And the Hindu religion is Lord Shiva, which is the sun god. Lord Shiva is a source of light, vitality, health, and strength, representing self, soul, and life force. Sun worship is integral to Hinduism, and Shiva is considered to be a symbol of truth, wisdom, and good health, which is really fun because I'm going to the Hindu temple tomorrow, and we're going to have a great time. We have to remember the baby steps. Yes, and that is the key for the Virgo energy, for the 6. Is actually getting into the 8, which I believe we're about to get into. So this is a nice segue. 8 is the Beck. This is the celestial technician. This is when we get into damn it, the word slipped my mind. This is when we pay attention to the details of the things, right? And we compartmentalize and order instead of because we always see the bigger picture, which Jupiter has no problem giving us the bigger picture. Saturn has no problem giving us the challenges to the bigger picture. However, we do have to get the small details in order. And when we're dealing with the 6 of, Virgo, or when we're dealing with the 8 of Had and Sebek on the tree of life, that's when we get into the details of the things. Thank you for that, Tyree. So let's get into Moon Day, the day of Yemoja, ruled over by the internal side of the third eye. As you know, Sunday is ruled over the external side of the third eye, and the Sabbath day is ruled over Saturn, which is the root chakra. So we are in 512. 1 and 2 is knowledge and wisdom. So now we have the Ketters, and we're exercising the Ketters. We haven't come into restrictions or anything yet. We don't get there till we get to Bina. So a lot of people, when they're meditating, they still come up with disciplines and orders and stuff like that. And I get it. It feels like Chokmah. It feels like the second Sephiroth, but it's not. It's Bina. It's 3. It still has limitations. But we love limitations because could you imagine driving on a road without lines, or riding on a train without the rails, or just flying in the air? You see how that's been going. Planes just running into each other. So we like discipline and order, and I love that you love that. But once you get into that, once you expand past the limitations and the order and the labeling people things, and this is the kind of religion I have, this is the kind of spiritual person I am, this is that, then you get into Chokmah. Everything is everything in Chokmah. Everything is everything. There is no good or bad, evil, right or wrong, this, that, and the third. It just is. And this is where energy is called, right? Energy is more so called in Ketters. And Ketters really has no bounds. And that's why it's so easy. And people be like, well, why do evil people be winning? Why do they be winning? Because when it comes to the Ketters and the Chokmah, there is no, there's none of until you get to Bina. Bina is understanding, that's Saturn. Now, when somebody's consciousness starts kicking in, or they start attracting, the aura spaces in their space that start giving them that Bina, that Saturn, them challenges, energies, then that's when they start getting, when lickbacks start happening. That's when y'all be like, oh, well, why would she wait so many years to tell the world that happened? Because the man wasn't in his Bina yet. He wasn't in his Saturn. He wasn't in his third Sephiroth. My man was in Chokmah for mad long. He was overindulgent and everything. Hey, Grace, thank you for the light. So, hey Tommy, peace. Peace and prosperity, beloved. So, once man's came down from his chokma and started relaxing and then started reading the Bible, now he and his Bina like, oh shit, I've been fucking up. Here come the challenges. Like, oh, you fucking up. We've been waiting for you. We've been on the other side of the aura this whole time. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that is at. And that's why those things happen the way that it happened. And this is why a lot of you guys have a difficult time with manifesting things, because you guys aren't in your chokma. You're like, oh, I shouldn't be asking for real, or this goes against my culture, or this goes against me being a woman, a man, an adult, a child. Like that's what's happening. You guys are still in your Bina, and you're attracting challenges to shit that you didn't even get yet. You know what I'm saying? So you got to move out of that. You got to be in your delusions. That's why you keep watching people that be like, la, 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 and stuff just keeps happening in their favor. It's because they're in la, la, la. That's Jupiter. That's Chokman. That's where you need to be. Get there. Anyway, we're in ones and twos. Then we get to the three. I pretty much just gave you a whole rundown on what three is, what Bina is, challenges, Saturn, all that stuff. So I'm not going to do it again. Now we're going to take that and we're going to enforce it. Because now I have this knowledge of my Ketters, my Chokma, and my Bina. Sunshine just gave us a whole 5-minute rundown, rant, whatever. And if I still don't get it, I can take her class. I can do a one-on-one. I can get a reading real quick. I can get a spiritual therapy session. I can get all that so I can figure it the fuck out. Or I can just go on YouTube or do whatever else I want to do and try to self-teach, which is perfectly fine too, and also encourage. This is how you empower self, right? So I'm not gonna do it again, but we're gonna enforce that three, right? And that's gonna bring us to 8. It's gonna bring us to transformations. The pendulum swings when we get to the 8, right? I just got at the 8 with you guys talking about Sebek, the celestial technician, how we're labeling and organizing things in our space. Now, when you read Metu Neter, they say that this is where man's ill lie. And give me a second, and I'll tell you why. Because in this realm, we get so caught up with labeling and organizing things down to like, I got to tell y'all what pronouns I need for me to feel like I belong somewhere. Like everything has to have a label. Everything has to have a title. You know what I'm saying? We have to have a call for everything around us. Nothing around us can just be. You know what I'm saying? Even people that want to be unique and different and out of bounds, people come up to them and be like, well, what do you call this? Oh, I call it experimental. You still have to have a label for just doing what the fuck you want to do. You have to have a label for the kind of relationship you want. Like, I'm this kind of poly. I'm that kind of poly. I'm this, I'm that. I'm da-da. Listen, I do what I want. How about this? How about that? I do what I want when I feel like doing it, and I might change my mind. It depends on what kind of relationship I'm in, because I'm very flexible and adaptable here. You know what I'm saying? I do a little bit of everything. I dibble here. I've had those kind of experiences. I've had these kind of experiences. I like both of them. So now I'm just going to do what I want when I feel like it, because I realize I like it all. Like, but we have to put a name to that. It has to be Pan. I don't even know what the fuck that means. But that's the obsession with labeling things. We have to have a label for everything. And that's what 8 is. And that's where man's ill lies. Because of that desire to label everything, it gets kind of difficult to go up to the next Sephiroth. Now, if you're starting from the earthly realm on 10th, it's kind of difficult to go up to the 7th Sephiroth of designing, because you're so caught up in overthinking the labels and compartmentalizing. Is the designer's like, God damn it, like, just make up your mind. What are we doing? What's going here? What's going there, so I can make it pretty, And if you're coming down from the Ketters, it's kind of difficult to get to the 9th Sephiroth of giving birth to things. Our Virgos, yeah, if you know, you fucking know. This is where we get into that procrastination, because we want perfection. We keep organizing. Like, let me tell you, when I think about this, when I think about bringing things to earth, I think about my book that I've been working on off and on for at least 10 years now. My son is about to be 11 and the book is not out yet. Wanna know why? Because every time I'm about to do it, I start editing it over again. And I'm like, if this is not the 8th Sephiroth, what the fuck, Nika? But all of that is in alignment. You know what I'm saying? We get caught up in the labels and the organizations and the words and the compartmentalize. Don't get caught up in it. Use it because it's important. It's there for a reason. We need it. But don't get caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? Balance in all things. The name of the game is balance. You know what I'm saying? That's the name of the game, for real. All right. So we took the understanding of Bina. We're enforcing it. It brought us to transformations. It brought us to Sebek. bringing us to our empowerment self, manipulating things changing, things rising and falling. There's going to be some deaths happening around. There's physical, mental, emotional, something's happening. You know what I'm saying? Scorpius energy on the rise, gang, gang. So now we're going to give birth to that 8, right? We're gonna make it from the Sephiroth 8 to the 9, y'all. Let's get there. Let's get there. Don't get caught up in that 8. Don't get caught up in it. Give birth. We want to give birth. And 9 is like, hey, if you want to give birth to that 8, you got to come back to the 1 and 7, right? You have to come back to that knowledge, that intellect taking action on the celestial design, or what you want to design in your space. Overall, what is this? Monday is a day of 8. Monday is a day of transformations, empowerment. 8 life path is great on standing on business. So 8 is another great day for my 1, 4s, and 7s and 8s. My 3, 6s, and 9s, you guys, getting, I won't say get out your feelings because that's not nice, but utilizing your emotions to find balance with standing on business, and how to, because emotions can fluctuate a lot, but 1, 4, 7s are very like grounded, you know what I'm saying? And so 1, 4, 7s, 147's learning how to like be like bamboo, like we're flowing. All of you numbers, all of you life path numbers, for real, learning how to be bamboo, learning how to flow but be sturdy at the same time. The 3, 6s, and 9s, you guys got to learn how to be sturdy while y'all flowing, because y'all just be like, oh, hands in the air, fuck it up. But then but my 1, 4, 7s, and 8s, y'all be so 10 toes down and stuff, y'all forget how to flow sometimes. So y'all need to come together in some type of way, shape, or form, and find that balance amongst each other. So Monday is definitely a day of 8. We love it here as empowerment happens. As above, so is below. As within, so is without. Yep, exactly, Tommy. That's exactly how it flows. And so, what do I want to do first? Let's do the astrological, astronomical report on Monday. Monday, we start off with a 100% waxing gibbous moon. We are in that moon of building. Tangible things. We are at the waxing full moon, so that means we can infer that on the 13th we'll be at a waning full moon. Okay, we'll be at the cleansing of the full moon. We usually get a full moon for 2 days. Okay, so we're at the 100% waxing gibbous moon. We're rising at 8:31 p.m., setting at 5:20 a.m. Mind and soul are in Scorpio, so it's in alignment with the 8, creating transformations on our mind and our soul experience, where our emotional self, our nurturing self, our sense of belonging, etc., etc. Energy exchanges is on Libra, still finding that balance, that harmony, and that justice, that 1 and 7, right? This is happening in the 10th house, so being tapped into the moon is where the success is going to be at, and we love it here, right? Sunrise at 5:46 a.m., setting at 8:05 p.m., tropically and Vedically. In our experiences, we are in Taurus energy still. We have made it to Aries 27 degrees, so new beginnings in our space. The moon is Zubin al-Janubi. I don't really like these new indicators for TikTok. I don't know why I spend that shit. I was talking about Zubin al-Janubi being in the Libra constellation, giving us the energy of Saturn and Mars. They'll be in conjunction at 1:37 a.m. The moon will be 5.3 degrees south. The AM visibility of Neptune begins, so you'll start to see that pretty star. And the full moon will be on Monday at 12:57 p.m. If you guys are over here in Jersey. Now, I know some of you guys in different states and countries and stuff like that, you guys experience the full moon at different times. Some of you guys might experience the moon on Sunday. But this is where I'm at. In the northeastern realm, this is where we're going to, the moon has been looking full, getting full, but we're fully be there on Monday. The full moon will be at 12:57 p.m. The earth will be between the moon and the sun. The moon will be visible all night. This is the full flower moon, the corn planting moon, and the milk moon, because now we have come into a space where y'all can go outside and start eating the flowers, the fruits of y'all labor, and at least a little bit, not too much, but at least a little bit. And we love it here. As far as the nakshatras go, because I did realize that I skipped over there a little bit, being at 21 degrees Libra with the moon, we'll be in the 16th lunar mansion with the full moon. And this is the Vishaka nakshatra. Some positive traits is religious, intelligent, humanitarian, truthful, and courageous. Some traits to look out for in your emotional stuff is being manipulative, deceitful, greedy, harmful, and talkative, or too ambitious. And that's what the 8 can do when it gets, overactive as well. Now, as far as the sun goes, I believe we have moved on to the 3rd nakshatra, being at the 27 degrees Aries, we are now at the Kritika Nakshatra. Some positive traits in our experience as a collective is being pleasant, physically attractive, goal-oriented, leaders, and straightforward. Some negative traits to look out for in your experience is poor money management. Ooh. Untrustworthiness, stubborn, impatience. Could be a lot of stuff that's going to be like, buy me, pay for this, do this. I'm trying so hard, y'all, to hide money from myself, not touch money, do all these things. So I'm really trying to attract that bus in my vortex. I need a bus, y'all. I need a bus. I need it. All right. As far as the Hebrew, that feels so good on my back. As far as the Hebrew calendar goes, Yom Sheni is the second day. Ooh. Spiritual significance. On the second day of creation, God separated the waters, Genesis 1:6-8. Unlike other days of creation, the second day is not directly associated with blessing in the Torah. It's a day of separation and division, symbolizing the idea of differentiation and balance in the world. Yom Sheni is Monday. This is separation, balance, and division is the key on that day. As far as the Hindu practice goes, Lord Shiva rules over Monday as well as the moon, of course. Lord Shiva is the destroyer and transformer in the Hindu Trinity, which is the Trimurti. He is also associated with meditation, asceticism, dance, and the destruction of ego. The moon, which governs emotions and the mind, is linked to Lord Shiva, who is both compassionate and terrifying god of regeneration and transcendence. And that's what moon goddess is. So let me give you guys your tarot reading so I can read y'all on out. Y'all enjoy this wonderful weekend of mastery, transformation, designing, and being in your Tipperef. We love it here. The overall vibe is offering tobacco. Tobacco used to be used to smoke before they started combining it with glass and rat poisoning and all those other things and those little fun things we call cigarettes. Tobacco used to be used to communicate with spirits, your spiritual self, and your ancestors. So using tobacco as an offering is really cool. For those of you guys that love Alegua, Eshu, Eshwa, tobacco is something good to have on your altar, like a nice pure cigar, if you guys want to, communicate with the god of the crossroads. We're going to focus on our Mars, our solar plexus chakra, something I communicated a lot with you guys, especially being in the month of 5, and we're aligning that with our Pluto. Mars rules over the external side of our solar plexus chakra. So Mars is the fire in the gut, the initiator. The gut controls the mind. Everything starts with the thought. And what does Pluto do? Pluto creates the transformations, the manipulation, the rebirth. How in tune you are with your gut. Some of you guys got parasites in your gut. So do some healing, do some fasting. Okay. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Tyree. It's always a blessing to be here. Some of you guys have things in your gut that don't belong, that's trying to control your gut, thus controlling your mind. So be mindful of your diet. You know what I'm saying? If I was an evil genius, I would put shit in your gut that would tell you what to do and what to think and how to behave so that I can react a certain kind of way, or I could treat you a certain kind of way, whatever would have you. I would constantly have your ego in fight or flight mode because it's controlling your mind, putting your mind in survival mode. And so now what's happening in your Scorpio is a reflection of how that Aries is going, right? Because water quenches the fire. So like say if I'm hungry, the Aries, my guts, we're hungry. It's telling my mind it's time to eat. This is a layman's example. So now Pluto, which rules over the water, transformations, everything out here is water, right? I'm water, this is water, we out here. You know what I'm saying? Swimming in the swimming. Okay? So now I'm creating transformations and I'm creating a meal. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's a lot of water-based foods to put in your water body to quench that fire that's hungry. But that's how it goes. Now, if I'm not in tune with my gut, I can ignore my gut and be like, you know what? I don't really need to eat. And now my fire is getting bigger and bigger. Now I'm hangry. Now I'm flipping over tables. Now I told people they didn't go fuck themselves because I didn't want to listen. And I didn't want to, create the transformation that need to happen. Or I have an overactive solar plexus chakra and I'm eating my food, your food, this food. Are you going to eat your cornbread? We don't know because I just ate it. You know what I'm saying? So, that's about that. Also, another example will be like your gut is, doesn't feel comfortable in the area that you're in. So how in tune are you with your solar plexus chakra? Are you going to listen to your gut and say, you know what? I shouldn't be here. Can I tell you how many times I have walked the places that I was supposed to vend and perform at? And I looked around and my gut was like, nah. But then sometimes my thoughts would be like, don't be like that, da 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 da. But my gut would be loud, like I said, nah. And so I create the transformations. I'm very in tune with my solar plexus chakra in most cases. Sometimes I don't totally speak up for myself, but we're working on that. But yeah, so I walk out of places and, I'll get that phone call like, why'd you leave? You were supposed to be performing, or I thought you was vending, woo wop. And I'm like, nah, it's cool. I just had a gut feeling. And then I get a call the next day like, yo, they was shooting, or it was a fight, or guess who pulled up, and this. And it's like, dang, I'm glad I wasn't there. And my gut told me to get the fuck up out of here. And thank God I'm in tune. My Scorpio energy is in tune with my Mars, and I listened. And I created the transformation that need to happen. So that's how you align your Mars and your Pluto together. That's the internal, external solar plexus chakra. How powerful you are. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys get into that gut. That gut is too on fire. And now you guys are trying to control and manipulate other people outside of yourself. And usually it's like emotional manipulation because Scorpio is water energy. Oh, I don't like this. This makes me sad. This makes me angry. So you shouldn't do it anymore. And we do that a lot in our relationships, right? If something makes me sad and angry, you just shouldn't do it anymore because I'm sad and angry, and you should care more about my emotions than what you want to do. And then we get upset because their solar plexus, they're in tune with their solar plexus chakra, and they're like, no, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to keep doing it. And instead of you being aware and being accountable, you just keep saying, well, if I yell louder, if I put my finger to your forehead, if I slash your tires, if I do all this outlandish shit, Scorpio shit, if I move in a sense of distrust, if I get dramatic, Scorpio shit, then maybe you'll listen to my Aries. Maybe you'll realize what my fire is. And that's not how you utilize your solar plexus chakra, okay? That's not what we do. And this is why hindsight is 2020. You're like, damn, I did allow those people. I did allow that man. I did allow that woman. I allowed it. You allowed it because you thought that your solar plexus chakra was here to control other people, and it's not. It's here to control you. Okay? So utilize your power for you, baby. We love it here. Hey, lovely. So, offering, we're speaking to this full moon, we're utilizing our solar plexus chakra, and we're speaking. How are we going to use our solar plexus chakra? I got the Knave of Wands for you guys again today too. So, you guys taking action. Taking action is key. Remember how yesterday we had the Knave of Wands upright and in reverse. So it was finding balance on when to react and when not to react. This time I have the Knave of Wands, and then I have the Strength card. So, yes, definitely utilizing your solar plexus chakra, being strong. I don't need to go down that rhetoric again. I just gave you guys the examples. We don't got to keep going through that. So what parts of self to focus on? We're going to focus on the Queen of Cups. Again, the example I just gave you. When I tell y'all I'm David Ruffin and these are the temptations, they basically just repeat what I just said. And you guys literally watched me shuffle these cards. I wasn't looking at them. I had no idea I was going to have this conversation that I had before I started reading the cards. You guys are here. You guys see. Because some of y'all be in my inbox like, I don't believe, Like, no, bro. This is how it happens. I'm really her, okay? I'm her, okay? These are them. But yes, you want to focus on your Queen of Cups. You want to focus on your emotions. Your emotions are not here to control other people. They're here to control you. A lot of y'all be holding that grief in your heart. Hindsight is 2020. Be accountable. Be responsible. It'll help you move forward, especially when you guys come across more interactions, because Pluto right now is in retrograde, which I know I said I was going to do a live and talk to you guys about it. I will. Give me a moment. This weekend, I do have some personal plans that I want to have between me and the full moon. And so, once I get out of those plans, I'll be here. The live is still up there if you guys want to subscribe to it, so that when I do go live, it'll pop up, and that's on YouTube unless nobody's. You guys can go over there after this. But anyway, be mindful with that grief in your heart, because that grief in your heart is why you guys are mishandling your solar plexus chakra, and you think that your emotions are supposed to control everything around you, and that's not how it works. As babies, we cried because we couldn't communicate. We didn't cry because me being sad or me being angry got shit done. It was because we didn't know how to talk. We didn't know how to speak. And once we learn how to speak, this is how we get things done. And it's not about controlling other people. It's about, I state my boundaries, and I'm listening to how you respond to me stating what my boundaries are. And if it's not in alignment with what I want in my space, I have the power to remove myself. I have the power to say, hey, I either want to flex on my boundaries because I would rather have you in my space, or I'm going to remove myself because this ain't it. You get what I'm saying? It's not, oh, if I yell loud enough, if I do this, if I pull the guns out, it's not going to change anything. I be saying that to people that be wanting to fight me. I'm like, bro, you fight me and then what? Is that supposed to make me like you? Now I'm going to be like, oh, we best friends and I fuck with you now because you want to fight me? Bitch, I'm too old to be fighting. And I got a handicap. I got hit by a car. Ain't nobody trying to fight no more. Like, I'm too old for this shit. I don't fight, y'all. I don't fight. I don't do any of that because I'm in tune with my energy. I don't got time for you. That's what you want to do. That's what you like to do. You definitely got to get out of my space. I'm not on that type of time, on any type of level. Will I talk my shit? Yeah, sometimes that Mars and Gemini will come out and I'll say some crazy shit to you, but I'm still not trying to fight you. If I go into fight mode, I'm fighting for my life and my safety, and it's not safe for you there. And that's why this is not what we're doing. This is not what we're going to do. Okay? I'm not a world star person. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's attractive. It doesn't make me feel like a good person. Like, we don't do that. Heal that hole in your heart, baby, because you behaving that way is signs of an imbalanced solar plexus chakra. You cannot control other people by acting irrational and irate and dramatic with the Scorpio and over inflamed with the Aries. It's not cute. And for people that think it's cute, it's because they're holding some shit in their heart. Their moms or their dads used to punch them in their head, and that's probably the only way they used to get attention. And so now they think that shit is just, oh, when she does that to me, it's flirting. Okay. Okay, until she stabs you. Caution needed until she stabs you. Hey, bees, peace to the God. Until she stabs you, caution is needed with that solar plexus chakra and how you're flexing it, how you putting it out there. Because I'm telling you, y'all gonna come to that equal opposite energy, and they gonna give you that work. You keep thinking all that shit that you're doing to control other people, places, things, situations outside of yourself is working, and it's not. Learn how to communicate what you want, and then learn how to make moves when you don't get the response that you want. The only person you're here to control is you. You. That's who you here to control. But that's what I got for you today, my lovely cosmic nobodies. I love you guys so much. I will be back. I ain't gonna give you no promises. It's one thing I'm learning, not to promise you guys things. But I will be back. I got some spiritual things that I want to do for myself under this full moon. I got some personal things I want to get in order. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm trying to get this buzz. Hey, if you guys got events coming up and you guys are looking for a healing vendor, you want me to come and do a workshop, I'll do an energy awareness workshop with y'all. I do art therapy. I'm certified in art therapy. And also perform my music. Everybody checked out my music. Yeah, I make positive affirmation music. Y'all better get into it. Find me on all streaming platforms. Sunshine Monet L. So, you know, if you guys have any events coming up, my summer is so empty right now. It's so crazy. I don't like it. You know, reach out to the goddess, let the goddess know. Make sure you guys go to my link tree and vote for your healers. Cosmic Nobodies Convention. We're in voting phase right now, voting for our healers. So make sure you go and do that. If you would like a personal reading, I do one-time readings. I also do ongoing therapy sessions. And I have my astro psychology course, aligning your astrological signs with psychological concepts. That's starting in October, but enrollment is open now. So if you guys want a free consult with me to see if my services, my courses, or anything else that I got going on can fit your needs or your desires, that link can also be found in my link tree, and we can chat. I love you guys so much. You guys enjoy. Happy Mother's Day for my mothers out there, whether your babies are in the physical, the spiritual, if they art babies, fur babies, I don't care. You guys all have a yesod. You guys are all giving birth. You guys are all mothers. Enjoy yourself. Express yourself, love yourself, and love each other. Isn't that the Jerry Springer last moment? Love yourself and love each other. Oh, I'm still in that. Peace, y'all.